a surprise for you. Wait right there. You're not as easy to carry as Rupert. It's Debbie! It's Deborah! She's wagging her tail. Oh, Debbie. Debbie's so happy to be on the channel today. Oh, I love her so much. You're getting so big. You're getting so big. She's gonna be sitting on her bed. But anyway, great to see you. Glad you're here. And Debbie's glad you're here too. Yeah, let's read some mindless Reddit confessions, because why not? All right, first up, I've been pretending to understand my job for 8 months. You know what? On this subreddit, on r/confessions, it's like 50% of them are, I don't actually do my job at work, and like people saying like, I like leave work early or all this stuff with work, and I just say, hey man, if it's not like severely affecting anybody else's life, then I don't know, it's hard enough, you know? But anyway, let's read this. Got hired as a data analyst right out of college and honestly have no clue what half my work actually means. Like, I can run reports and I'm pretty good at finding high RTP games at stake, but if someone asked me to explain business implications, I'd just word salad through it. Previous person left detailed templates, so I basically follow instructions like a recipe and pray nobody asks me to deviate. I've become an expert at nodding in meetings and saying interesting insight when I have no idea what anyone means. Everyone thinks I'm crushing it, like I got solid review last month praising my attention to detail, which is actually me checking everything 17 times because I'm terrified of revealing how clueless I am. It sounds like you're doing a great job of not knowing, but doing your job while not really knowing what you're doing, you're still doing a good job, so good job. You know, just got assigned to big project that could influence major decisions and I'm internally panicking. Okay, that's scary. What if they expect actual insights instead of reformatted data in pretty graphs? Imposter syndrome is crushing me, like I keep thinking someone will figure out I'm a fraud. Working 50+ hours trying to keep up with stuff I don't understand, too exhausted and free time to actually learn. Anyone else fake it this hard? I feel like you are so not the only one. Dude, when I worked as a receptionist at Mazda, or Mazda for the Americans, I'm from Canada, okay? I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't know how to transfer a call. I didn't know how to, I knew how to count money basically, but I just coasted for, I think had that job for like 6 months, just coasted. And no one ever knew that I didn't know what to do. And then I don't know, I was really nice to the customers, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And again, wasn't life like detrimental or anything, although I did handle tens of thousands of dollars, which I probably shouldn't have been able to when I was like, what was I, 17? Yeah, that was probably not good, but it was fine. Everything was good, and but anyway, what I'm saying is I've coasted through jobs, okay? I've had a lot of jobs, coasted through most, so I'm not judging you. Let's see what the comments say. Plenty of people bluffed their way into a tech job, me included. I feel like tech is like the place to do this. You're going to devote nights to understanding the work you're being asked to do during the day. You absolutely can do this successfully if you apply yourself. If you continue to coast, you will eventually be discovered. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like now that you've been promoted, now it gets scary. I think now I've learned, and as I got older, I learned just to ask questions. Like I used to be so like fake it till you make it kind of with jobs, and you can be to a certain degree, but like when I was a hairdresser, for example, I kind of faked it till I made it. People would be like, hey, can I get this? And it was like a girl with, you know, pitch black hair and she wanted to be like platinum blonde with like blue tips, and I'd be like, yeah, like let's talk about it, let's figure it out. And then I'd go in the back room and talk to the other way better hairdressers and be like, how the fuck? Yeah, I think have a little humility and just be like, yo, I've been coasted. I need some help. The most difficult part is the constant stress because it's inescapable. Friday ends and a timer starts for Monday when you'll go back to surviving another week. Something similar happened to me and I hated life. Hope OP can understand his job or jumped somewhere new. Like, it's one thing to coast and it not be a big deal and you can probably coast for the rest of time, but this you can't. It seems like you can't in perpetuity here. I did the same for PLC programming and electronics, worked 15 years ago, basically programming the computers that run huge machines in factories. Went home every night and read manuals and watched YouTube videos. It takes more time since you can't ask many questions, but you preset showed that deduction with your degree. You got this. Yeah, also you're saying that you're like following all the instructions to the letter. So I'm assuming that's like what this entails, you know? So I think you definitely have the work ethic. That's that thing on Reddit too. It's like people that just don't do any work at work and they just get paid and then they go home. There's a lot of people on this Reddit thread like that, but you're like doing the work and just not fully understanding what you're doing. And I feel like that's relatable as fuck. So I'd ask some questions or maybe get a different job. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm curious. I don't know my friend's name and I only realized today. Okay, I'm assuming it is like a nickname thing maybe, and you just never found out their full name. Here's the short of it. I've known this girl for about 2 years. We met through mutual friends and we get along really well. We have a lot of similar interests and make jokes together and all that friendly stuff. We walked past each other the other day on the way to classes and wave. Then it hits me. I don't know her name. I've been friends with her for 2 years and I have no clue what her name is. I don't know how it's taken so long for this realization to hit me, but here it is. So you don't know any name? Like not even a nickname or something? I don't know what to do at this point, and asking her would be too much for my own dignity, so what do I do? Oh my gosh. I mean, there's gotta be a paper trail. There's gotta be an electronic paper trail. Edit. Okay, so wow, as of editing this post, there are 300 comments and I'm honestly overwhelmed to clear a few things up. I don't have any social media, so I could, okay, fair enough. I don't have any social media, so I couldn't really ask her for it even if I wanted to. See, yeah, that's fair. Props to you for not having social media, but it's your downfall, man. I also don't have her number. I know, I'm a coward. I could ask her for it and have her type in her details for me, so that's definitely a solution. That's what I would do. That's happened to me, to be honest. Mostly with last names though, but I'm not gonna lie. There has been times where I've asked for people's numbers to like stay in contact or something like that, and it's usually it's been at like a creator thing or something, and I live under a rock. I don't actually consume a lot of content, and they're like, we should keep in touch. I'm like, yeah, put the name and number in my phone, and then they put it in, and then I don't even know who it is because they save it, and then I'm like, oh fuck. Yes, we are really friends, not just acquaintances. I know I didn't properly clarify earlier, but we talk more often than just waving at each other and have a lot of common interests. I've honestly just referred to her in my head as my friend. That is 2 years is crazy work. For the last time, I'm not faking a concussion or pretending I don't remember any name from the last 3 years just to ask her for her name. I'm desperate, but never that desperate. Oh, man. Oh, you know what you could do? Oh, well, this could bite you in the ass. You could have another friend or something come with you, and then you like wave her over, be like, come here, and then have that person introduced to the other person and be like, hey, can you say your name to this person? Because I don't know their name. And they'll be like, hey, I'm, Tommy Schmidt. She'll be like, yeah, I'm Cassie. And then you'll be like, yes. But then it's weird because sometimes when you introduce people, you're just like, Timmy, meet Cassie, meet, but you won't be that. It's like, hey, this is my friend. You just can't say that person's name, and then that's the only thing I could think of. Anyway, let's read the comments. Ask her to add herself and your phone number to your phone. Add her name and her phone number. Yeah. Then just hope she doesn't close out her contact info and you'll have to wait until she texts you first. That's what happened to me. That's what happened to me. So embarrassing. And it's not like I have so many contacts, I don't even know who's in my phone. I have my contacts since I was like a hairdresser, and everybody kind of has like a name or a nickname, and there's just so many I don't remember. I have like hundreds of contacts, and so many are just like my previous clients from doing hair and lashes. So yeah, I'm just like, oh, I have no idea. I don't remember. This is what I said. Get someone to introduce themselves to her and ask what was the name. Bonus points if you act like you're helping them out. This is a really good idea, but problem is all my friends already know her. We're in a very close friend group. Yeah, just get a stranger. Give a stranger $20, dude. It's fine. I would do it for 20. I'd do it for free. To be honest, I'd do it to be a part of something. Anyway, what do you guys think in the comments? Let's move on. I've been hooking up with my best friend's grandmother. Okay. I'm going to keep this vague and brief for anonymity. I've been friends with this guy for a while. He's moved away and asked that I spend time with his grandmother so that she doesn't get lonely. He's like a brother to me, so I agree. Oh, this just makes it worse. She recognized me from some events that he had in his life that I was a part of, so we already had a rapport. For reference, she's in her 60s and I'm in my 20s/30s. What does that even, are you in your 20s or 30s? What does that even mean? So the age difference, it's quite different, but quite legal at this point, so whatever. Anyway, I sat with her and did some crafts together, like normal shit you do with your grandmother. She asked that I make her a drink, and when I brought it back, she told me that she didn't enjoy drinking alone. I took the hint and made myself a drink. Fast forward 2 hours, and between the two of us, we probably knocked back around 6 mint juleps? I don't know what that is. So I'm pretty tipsy. Eventually, the topic got onto my dating endeavors. She told me that I needed to find a girlfriend before I end up like her, old and alone. I reassured her that she was pretty and didn't look a day over 40. Again, shit that you would say to an older lady. Oh my God. She asked if I could believe that she hadn't gotten off since her late husband passed. Okay, yeah, how you guys were drunk. To be honest, that caught me off guard, both from how sensual the conversation had gotten and from the idea that someone can go over a decade without, you know, busting or whatever. She asked if I would help her out. This just reminds me of Yes Man, when Jim Carrey has that neighbor who's like the older lady and she's just like trying to hit so bad. That reminds me of that so much. I won't lie, she's a beautiful woman and the booze broke down my inhibition. I said, screw it, said yes, and we hooked up. Oh, okay. Since then, we have been hooking up semi-regularly. Of course, I feel guilty as hell due to her being my friend's grandmother. On the other hand, we both are single and adults. I needed to get this off my chest because it's been eating me up inside. I don't think your friend would love that after they asked you to just like take care of your grandmother. I don't think that they meant in this way, to be honest. I don't know, do you tell them? Do you tell them like, hey, your grandma is awesome in bed. Anyway, should I order the fries? You're gonna have to explain why you are at the will reading and made out better most than the family. Damn, that is such a real thing. But also 60s isn't that old. Like I think about like my parents are in their 60s right now. I don't look at them as like a grandma or grandpa, which technically they are because my sister has kids, but they're like, you know, they're still like, I don't know, well, not old, it seems. So you can do something incredibly funny by becoming your friend's new grandfather. Oh my God. That would be like the ultimate prank on a friend. That's not a prank because you're actually fucking his grandmother. Meanwhile, the grandma is pounding every dude she meets using the same sob story. Oh no. Another comment said she ain't getting pregnant. Stop. I can't with Reddit today. We're moving on. Let me know what you think down below. I don't know even what to think, but let's keep going. I left my friend's baby welcoming party because she used my baby name. Oh shit. My sister's about to give birth literally in like 2 business days, if not hopefully sooner, because she's about to bust. But anyway, this is something that has been brought up many times, baby name stuff. It is a spicy topic. I, 29 female, have been friends with these 2 girls. Let's call them P, 28 female, and V, 29 female, since 9th grade, and we have been inseparable since. V has been married to her childhood sweetheart for the last 4 years. P got married 2 years ago, and my husband and I got married 1 year ago. I'm currently 4 months pregnant. P gave birth about 2 weeks ago, and she and her husband decided to have a baby welcoming naming ceremony. V and I were very excited and brought a lot of gifts. It was her first baby after all. Her son was a cutie, and I was glad to see P was doing well since the birth was a little hard for her. Then the naming ceremony started and the name reveal did not go as I expected. The name of her son was Ewan. As soon as I heard it, my heart stopped. Even V was shocked. Oh my gosh. Women talk about their like ideal baby names a lot, okay? Not every woman, but a lot of us do. For context, I've always loved Chinese culture. I lived in China from ages 7 to 10 and visited many times as an adult. I also met my husband there. When I was 4, my birth name was changed to something else, and this is an important detail. The main thing is I fell in love with the name Yuan. It reminded me so much of my first name because they had similar meanings. I always, and I mean always, wanted to give that name to my son if I had one. After a while, I even started seeing a little boy with that name in my dreams. It felt like destiny. P and V knew this. Of course they did. They always knew how much I love the name. It just makes me mad for you. Okay, I felt heartbroken. V tried to say something, but I did not even hear it. P came up to us, all smiles and laughs as if she had not just taken something from me. She told me, "Hey, X, I know, you must be thinking I'm a bad friend, but you have to understand. Ever since you told me that, I really loved it and could not let the opportunity go since you do not have a kid still. Besides, my husband is Vietnamese, so the name at least fits our culture." Bad friend. there's any other name you can name your kid, man. And also, but other side of the coin, you can still name your kid that. Even though they had named their kid that, you can still do that. But it does feel like a backhand. I totally understand. I stared at her for a good 10 minutes before I almost snapped. I said, "You knew how much I loved that name ever since I was a young girl. Why? Why did you do this to me?" Oh, I wish I was in the bushes just watching this interaction. Oh my God. Her reply stunned me. She told me that I was always unserious about having children. And even though I am now pregnant, oh yeah, she's pregnant. She got pregnant first and deserved the name more. I could not believe this was my best friend of 10 years saying this to me. She finished with, "You can name your son that. That is, if you have one, but you will be copying me. Think of what people will say about our kids. In our circle, it will be bad." Oh, she is a fucking grade A final boss mean bitch girl, man. What the hell? I went home and cried. I've always been serious about being a mother. I even wrote letters thinking of my future kids. Hearing what she said broke me. My husband was just as upset. We had even started setting up a nursery for Ewan since we found out we were having a baby boy. And yes, P knew that we were going with Ewan. Oh my God, what? To top it off, P called me many times. I did not pick up. She started texting me, calling me a bitch and an asshole for ruining her son's party. I could tell people were watching when we argued, me in the bushes, but I had no intention of ruining her son's first party. According to her and her mother, who texted me colorful words afterwards, I ruined it. I feel hurt. She's one of my oldest friends and she does this to me. Whatever happens, I will not change my son's name. That's for sure. I'm glad. Just, yeah, stick with your guns. I remember reading another story like this, like a few videos ago, and like a same thing happened, but like with a family member who knew that they were naming this kid this name and they refused, and all this stuff happened, but they ended up still naming their kid the name they wanted. So I think that's the way to go. And who cares if people talk about it in their circle? The people in your immediate circle know that you like the name first anyway. So this is such like petty, dumb shit. I don't know. Like there's an argument for her really liking the name and being like, no, I really love that name. I'd love to. And then have a conversation. If this is your best friend, you could be like, I know you're going to name your son that, but I also really love that name and it means a lot to me. And you know, if you're friends, you do that. I think. I don't think she's a very good friend. But let's see what the people said. If the name is super important to you and you birth a son, use it. No one with half a brain will bat an eyelid, as there are many people with the same name. Your friendship may be over, but you can still name your child the name you want. Who cares what others may or may not think? Rest assured, P will know what she did. That is something she will have to live with. Yeah, exactly. She'll have to live with the guilt, or maybe she won't live with any guilt because she's like that selfish of a person. She finished with, you can name your son that. That is, if you have one, but you will be copying me. Think of what people will say about our kids in our circle. It will be bad. She got pregnant first and deserved the name more. What the hell? Definitely isn't a friend. LOL. That's insane. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's evil. It's kind of like an evil thing. It's just like, you're not friends. You never were friends, at least not in her eyes. Like, she's the type of person where you like, you know, kiss on both cheeks, leave, and then she talks shit to V behind your back. All right, moving on. Last one. I sit in my car for an hour after work and tell everyone it's traffic. It's the happiest part of my day. Dude, I used to do this all the time, but it would be when I got home. I would get home, and I never lived with anybody besides Caleb, but I lived with like my parents up until I eventually moved out. But when I came home and then lived with my parents, I would just sit in my car, usually for like at least an hour, and I'd just listen to music and hang out because I just didn't want to talk to anyone, or like I just wanted to hang out, you know? So I get this. Anyway, I park a couple blocks from home, kill the engine, and just exist. No radio, sometimes a podcast, sometimes I stare at a leaf on the windshield. I text traffic to the family group chat and sit there like a raccoon pretending to be a functioning adult. It started during a rough week. I told myself I needed 5 minutes to decompress so I wouldn't bring the office home. 5 minutes became 15. Then an hour. Now the quiet metal box is the only place where nobody needs anything from me. Here's the part I'm not proud of. I've missed dinners. I've let calls ring out. I've walked in with a tired smile and a lie about stalled truck on the highway. There's always a stalled truck somewhere, even when I'm nowhere near a highway. I'm not cheating. I'm not job hunting. I'm just exhausted and addicted to being unreachable. I think you're sad. Like for me, sitting in the car was just like decompress. I get the decompression, just like not being stimulated in any way, just hanging out, you know? But I think you might benefit from like talking to an unbiased third party as well. Because yeah, when it starts to affect like the family's life too, or like a wife or a husband, or like time with your kids and that kind of thing, like your life matters too. But I don't know. I think I'm scared that if I say I need an hour to myself, people will hear I don't love you. So I pick the coward's version: silent and excuses. It feels harmless, but it isn't. It chips away at trust, and I can hear it in the little pause before they say okay. And I guess also when I say I just sit in the car, I'm not like texting people to be like, oh, I got stuck in traffic. Like you're not, I've never like white lied about me just sitting in my car. I'll just sit in my car and my mom will come outside and be like, what the fuck are you doing? I just be like, just sitting here. I don't know. But yeah, those little white lies, or like those micro lies, they can add up. Because yeah, what if one of your family members just walking down the street or drives past and just sees you in the car, then it's just like, But I don't think it's wrong to want an hour to yourself. I think that's inherently human. That's very normal to just want like just some peace and quiet and to decompress and that kind of thing. I think it just needs to be a conversation with your family, I'm confessing because I don't want the happiest part of my day to be hiding. I'm going to tell them the truth and ask for a real boundary. 1 hour after work, phone on do not disturb, then I show up fully. If they say no, at least I finally said something real. If anyone else does the car park thing, you're not a monster, but the quiet hits different when it isn't stolen. Okay, that just got really poetic. I'm really proud of you for coming clean and stuff. Let's read the comments. For about a year, someone who lives in an apartment complex next to mine would park in our parking lot for an hour and listen to the sound of silence on repeat in his car before going home. I nicknamed him the Beast, not because he was some kind of monster. I just figured he was a manifestation of everyone's inner beast seeking out a moment of peace in the world. Oh my god. That's deep as yeah, I feel like a lot of people are just stopping their cars and just like hanging out, just thinking or not thinking, For a few months in my mid-20s, I had an hour-plus commute on the train each way. I met people who had been doing that commute 5 days a week for 15 years. At that point, mid-late 90s, not many people had cell phones on them all the time, so you were truly unreachable. I hated that commute, but I realized that for many of these people on the train, it was the only time during the day when people weren't demanding stuff from them. Yeah, we really do live in a day and age where it's like inescapable. Like every time you open your phone, it's something that causes stress or happiness or something else. We like constantly need to be stimulated. So having that like moment of silence is like just euphoric in a way. Sometimes it's terrifying for me. Being in silence is a little scary, but once I'm in it for about 10 minutes, I'm like, oh. I start thinking way too much. And I think that's what they're trying to do, is make us not think, overstimulate us everywhere. Get off, log off of this video. Go sit in silence for 10 minutes, outside preferably. I implore you, I encourage you to do that. Whew. Anyway, I'm gonna go sit in silence and then listen to the sound of silence. With Debbie. She's sleeping now. All right, bye.